I barely buy any games that disappoint me. It is very, 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 very rare. The only games.
Thing to happen for me. Even free games, like, it is a very rare thing that I play a game that is just disappointing. The only games that I can recall that I can consider the worst games I've ever played in recent years of these last 4 years was Black Ops 4 for PS4 and Xbox One, Battlefield 2042 in 2021, and I thought this year I would have no disappointing games. Turns out I was wrong, and keep in mind, these are just my opinions. Like, you don't have to agree with me, you can disagree, but this is just my experience. So, I just ask, be respectful of my opinions. You don't have to agree, but we can agree to disagree. When I heard and saw the trailers that this game was going to be like 4 and 3 and a reboot without superpowers, I was pretty excited. And this game I was actually hyped for. This game was in my top best games of 2022 video that I was making earlier, and I thought this would be the second best game of 2022. Like, I wanted 4 and 3 without superpowers with a little bit of Saints Row 2 in it. And I will admit, I'm a new school Saints Row fan, and I have never been this disappointed in an open world game that I really, really wanted. So you start off, you boot up the game, and you hear the music, and the main menu is not perfect. You see it has new difficulties, more difficulties, which is a good thing. So when you start up with the opening cutscene, you're probably thinking, "Wow, this is the best looking Saints Row game." But the graphics, and I'm not a guy that complains about graphics. Like, I put gameplay over graphics a lot, and I mean all the time. This game looks like a remastered PS3 and Xbox 360 game. I know Saints Row has always looked a bit cartoony, but we're on the 9th gen now, and I will admit this is mediocre graphics and the best Saints Row has ever looked, but so the opening cutscene introduces us to a party house, and you're probably thinking, "Oh, this is cool. We don't have to do a mission where we're wearing a suit that is covering our face like 4 and 3. We can go to our character creation right away and import from the boss factory right away." But I know this is a small thing. You have to use a default character and complete the first mission to import your character, or you gotta recreate your character from scratch. And this is bad for people that either had to move and didn't have Wi-Fi, so they can't update the patch and import the character from boss.
So you start off with the gameplay, and the controls are just weird. Like, to run is like a first-person shooter, which I don't like. That only fits for first-person shooter games. And maybe just games like Fallout 4, but so yeah, that the run button I don't like. The controls are just they made some good changes, like having the weapon wheel with L1, but I don't like the new sprint button running like it's a first-person shooter. You gotta run with the left stick. I really don't like it. And one last thing I'll mention about the controls is when you have to press R1, hold R1, then press the square button, triangle button, X button, or O button. Just throw grenades or use equipment. I really don't like that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the controls of this game. The next thing I'll talk about is the world. The world just feels empty and not even that interactive. Like, there's stuff that should, like, it feels so old, like, and outdated. Like, you can't interact with, like, it would be cool to play pool, which there is. There's not many enterable buildings. Like, you can't drink at bars. You can't go gamble in casinos, which there is casinos, but you can't enter them, which is really disappointing. Overall, the world's just empty. It's disappointing, and it shouldn't feel empty. There should be more buildings. There should be stuff to do with your homies when you call them in, and overall, it's just disappointing. Like, with a big map like this, a Las Vegas like setting, like with countryside, you should be able to do a lot of things and interact with the world, but you can't. So yeah, moving on.
Moving on to the story, and the story is just terrible in this game. There's a lot of stupid moments that make no sense that aren't funny, like 4 and 3 did. And if I'm correct, the story's about a group of friends that are in the beginning that are trying to pay rent, if I'm correct, but the story's just so terrible. The jokes are terrible, like the humor is torn down due to how sensitive the world's got, and political correctness has hurt this game. And I don't want to say woke because it will piss off people on the political spectrum, and I'm not going to make this a political video. The only thing I'm going to say is I've been on both sides of the fence throughout my life. Like when I was way younger, plus I'm not going to tell you where I lean mostly today, but you know me from the past. Like, you probably could guess where I am, but all I'm going to say is today is I'm in the middle. That's all I'm going to say. I try to stay in the middle as much as I can because both sides are messed up in today's world. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, last thing I'm going to say about this is I'm all for being respectful and proper, but the way the world is, how it's gotten ridiculous, where people get offended over everything and people can't have fun anymore, and movies and entertainment is getting attacked, and where they can't take risks. Plus, it's a piece of entertainment. They don't condone stuff like racial slurs or gender like stuff like transphobia. Like none of that stuff is condoned in real life by by big people, like filmmakers or developers. And if this like how soft the world's gotten and how worse it's gotten since 2020, this makes me worried. What will GTA 6 be like? I know it's a different company, but I feel like that Grand Theft Auto 5 will be the last GTA game where they get away with all this stuff. And my best advice is for people that are offended by like slurs, any type of slurs or like jokes. Like, yes, there are limits. Like, you can't do like stuff I can't name, like, because this video will get taken down. But honestly, like when it comes to like stuff that has ratings like M or rated R and stuff, like my best advice is if you're offended by that type of stuff, you shouldn't be going to those movies or be playing these games. Like, just don't play them at all. No one's forcing you to play these, like, or watch these, so just don't even bother. But anyway, I'm just gonna say is last thing I'll say for this is that I'm all for being proper and respectful in the real world, but to the point how we're going as a society, and it just worries me what's going to happen and what's going to happen for our entertainment and our video games and stuff and movies and books. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Saints Row. The story is just terrible. There's not the group of heroes and the protagonist of this game basically feels like a Gen Z Twitter user. Like, that's really all it is. Like, you got one character, I'm not so sure about them, but then you have one other character in this game that doesn't wear a shirt and likes to get clicks and likes. one of those people that like to show off their I guess abs, I guess, and get clicks and likes. It's so stupid that one character doesn't like to wear a shirt. The only some likable character part of your homies is Nina. That's the only character in this game that I mostly grew attached to and felt for. Nina's like the only somewhat likable character.
You can come out, Miss Star. It's safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are really good at this.
It's not my first time shooting up a place with a minigun, ma'am. Just the first time people are happy I did it.
How the fuck did this happen?
Shit. What's going on, sir?
You.
Sir, I know I made a little mess protecting the museum, but we have to look at the big picture. The threat's been neutralized, Miss Star is safe, and as you can see, the codex is secure.
A mess? Yes, there is a goddamn mess.
I don't understand.
Well, you were wasting time with her. The idol stole the codex and replaced it with a fake.
Sir, I wasn't wasting time. I was saving—
Do you think I give a shit if Myra Star lives or dies?
Atticus.
You are replaceable. You are replaceable. That was not.
Sir, I can lead a team to retrieve the codex.
The hell you can. You're fired.
What?
You're done. If I see you on Marshall property again, I'll have you shot. We'll make this right, Antonio. I promise.
Thank you. I am sorry.
Hey, I just got word that the idols are planning on attacking the museum.
So your character gets fired and he or she acts face she makes like he or she's been rejected. And this is a stupid part, wallowing in your own failure. The original boss of the Saints wouldn't wallow in failure. He or she would be upset if a gang member died tragically, or a heist gone wrong, or something gone wrong. He or she wouldn't wallow in failure. They would be sad for the first bit, but then they would be looking right away to be angry and get revenge and get back up. This part is so stupid, wallowing in your own failure. Like, don't wanting to get out of bed. It's so stupid. And then also have to, walk so slow, with your head down, just, so depressed. This is just stupid. It's so terrible. So yeah, the story in this game is terrible, and another thing I'll say about the story, it feels like the characters are about taking down a Twitter user. This game really feels like it was meant for Gen Z Twitter users that want to take down capitalism. Again, not getting it political or nothing, but that's really what it feels like, and not many likable characters. This game is just a disaster. There are things I like about this game, though. I like how it's set in, a Vegas-like city, but it's empty. I like the wingsuit. I like the properties that you can purchase and build your empire. I like that. I like the gun customization. It's got a variety of weird stuff and realistic weapons and military weapons, and customization's the best it's ever been in the series. I also like the character creation, how you can create almost everyone. Character creation is the best in the series. Like, as much as this game's a disaster. And I also like how you can customize your homies' clothes, pick their outfits, and I love how they brought back a phone instead of like just a pause like menu, like Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell for everything. And before we wrap this up, I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, you wanted a game like 4 and 3 with a little bit of 2, not that serious, without superpowers, humor, stuff that makes almost no sense. You should be happy you got what you wanted. Well, I sort of got what I wanted. I wanted something that made somewhat sense, and that wasn't, like, I wanted something that was going to be revolutionary for the Saints Row series. Something that, like, something brand new, like. And another thing I'll rip this game apart is that people that bought day one copies had so much bugs, game-breaking glitches, and problems. I got it a week after a couple of day one patches and a couple of patches, and I experienced some bugs, but this game had so much problems that I saw on YouTube with bugs and all that. Like, there's no excuse for that. A game that was in development for, like, quite some time after 2017, and it's released buggy. I know no game's gonna be perfect, but this is just terrible. That is just terrible. And this game, I just don't understand what went wrong. Like, when Starfield got delayed, and this game was my third most anticipated game, then when Starfield got delayed, this was gonna be my second most anticipated game, and I thought this game would be my second favorite game of 2022. It was even going to be in my top best games of the year video, but now it's going to be my most, in my opinion, most disappointing game of 2022. I really wanted to like this game. It's not me being a hater. I actually really did want to like this game. When I first saw the trailers, I was excited. Like, I really, really wanted to like this game. But with them, like, with messed up controls and also having an empty world that feels just, like, outdated, and then also catering to, I really don't want to say woke, but to this political correctness, and this is not proper, instead making the game be a rated M game, and to be edgy and like just brutal, and catering to Generation Z, and so it can relate to Twitter users and people that think they're doing some sort of social justice warrior thing. Like, they honestly should have not done that. It should have been like Saints Row, like how Saints Row was, with some brutal moments, like messed up jokes, and intense stuff. But no, like I'm really not trying to piss off viewers that lean, like, again, not getting political, but people that lean Democratic or left-wing or liberal. Like, I really don't, like, I'm trying to be as careful as when I'm speaking about this game. But I know what I just said about Gen Z and Twitter users is going to piss off the younger generation, and possibly my own. So yeah, I'll probably get called a young boomer or whatever they call it, but I don't keep up with what kids are saying nowadays. I really don't. But like, this game is honestly is just hurt by how sensitive and how people are, like, and what society's turning into in today's world. Like, if they would have made the game so edgy with so much dark humor, like messed up jokes, like Saints and some Saints Row 2 and 1 moments, there would be people calling for this game to be removed off the shelves and canceled. But that's all I'm going to say about this. But the last few things I'll say about this game, why it's disappointing, is that the clunky gameplay with the shooting is not great, and the action scenes. Me playing through this entire game, I didn't even have any fun. Almost. There are like some good missions, but most of the missions are just disappointing. The writing is also all over the place, and basically, even when I was blowing stuff up in the game, I was still not having fun. I was just bored, like, because of what this game is. And another reason why this game is disappointing, like, there's so much cheap music. If you like the music, that's fine, but the budget in this game must have been not that great. They couldn't get like some really, really good music, so the music in this game is just okay, and there's no replay missions. I don't know why Saints Row is still not having replay missions in 2022. Like, I'm sure there was issues back then on the PS3 era for these games, but we're on PS4 and PS5 now. I don't understand why we can't have replayable missions. It's pretty sad that this game is worse than Agents of Mayhem, and I like Agents of Mayhem. It's also, I think it's even worse than Get Out of Hell. Like, and I like Get Out of Hell as well. Like, this is honestly just pathetic. And one of the main reasons why I was excited for this game, because it was possibly going to be the first Saints Row, like, main title, unless you count Get Out of Hell, to get a map expansion. Like, and like, I heard this game was going to get a map expansion for DLCs, but now, after finishing this, I might not even get the expansion pass. Like, why would I spend more money on a game that I don't like for $40 extra for the DLCs? Like, if I'm not going to like it. So this disappoints me that possibly the first time in Saints Row that we were going to get a map expansion, but I might not even buy it. And another thing, I didn't even do any videos on this game. No gameplay, no opening, no Easter eggs, no anything. No character dedicated scenes like I would have done for Nina, but nothing. Like, there's literally nothing that I did. Like, I'm not even going to bother the 100% this game, and that's pretty much it for Saints Row. Like, this franchise might be over now. Like, it really could be over for Saints Row now. What are they going to do? Make a sequel to this game? I don't know, but if you guys do like this game, for those who do like it, I'm glad you guys are happy. I really am. But I really, really wanted to like this game, people. I really, really did. But I just don't know anymore. So, do I recommend you buy this game? If you're not happy with everything I said about this, no, but if you do want to buy it, get it on a major sale. And that's the end of the video. So these are the reasons why I gave Saints Row 2022 is the most disappointing game of the year, in my opinion.